Taldan patriotism. Praised hard work and discipline. It was spread by the Empire by mastering cavalry and building roads from Opera to the Arcadian Ocean. Unmatched by the rest of the continent's scattered Khalid city-states, thanks to centuries of neglect. Civil engineering marvels were once the envy of the world, now slowly crumbled, producing striking tableaus of abandonment, canals clogged with mud and reed, tumbled-down aqueducts, creating beautiful waterfalls in the middle of fields, and roads that simply end for several miles before resuming. Despite this, Taldor still boasts one of the highest standards of living in Avestan for its rural communities, and even in lean years, few farmers ever need to worry about where their next meal will come from. While the nation remains a military and economic juggernaut, it has little to show for the past glories of an immense but ever-diminishing treasury, an out-of-touch aristocracy, a nationalist nostalgia. Taldan culture still prizes hard work and discipline, but the common folk are the ones who produce those virtues for little recognition or reward. The nobility, like their imperial predecessors, profess national pride for its own sake, sure that their continued wealth shows, but they must be doing something right.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Dice Before Dishonor. Bit of a short house today, bit of a wrap-up, some extra footwork, because we're getting ahead of ourselves. When last we met up with our heroes, they were summoned. Lady Lothric used the Senator pins that magically send messages. Come forth, come up to the gallery, check out my little coffee table. No, that's a distraction. I just got a little wind-up cricket going. Remember that wonderful little toy? Thank you, Steampunk, for making ambient noise so that people can't really discern listening in from a close distance of what they're saying. We kind of jumped ahead in time there, where our man Fafal, funny enough, was sort of doing the right thing out of the gate. She asked you guys to look in on Madame Malphane Trant. Tall woman, long green dress, hair done up in a huge style, and throwing her weight around with a bunch of sycophants, trying to intimidate and, shall we say, make sure that everyone's on board with Daddy, the Senator, for what he wants to do, for his agenda. Lothric, maybe it's personal, maybe it's just something here where she's decided that this key player is a pain, and you guys need to keep an eye on her in case she does something. Fafal has already been watching her, and I had come up with a bonus and found that I actually had misread. Anyone who's been watching her up until this point, like Fafal, if anything goes down, let it be noted that you will gain a +2 initiative to act or intercede. Now, getting back to the matter at hand, we had everyone summoned, and we had sort of put a special kitchen mission on pause, and I would like to get back to that. So rewinding time just a little bit. Fafal is up in the gallery watching Malphane, even though they was about to be told to watch Malphane. Gildevarth and Sir Bartholomew were being glad-handed by the Prince of Persia, as it were. And you guys had made your way to the kitchens and tried to bluff your way to find those expensive bottles, only to find that they were being monitored by kitchen help, and that wasn't going to fly. You guys had retreated, shook Fafal down for the dust of illusions that he was carrying for himself and for the party, and reformed, and also garnered a disguise from a couple of halfling servants named Mike and Sylvia, who are now parading around as Winston in Winston's gear, and actually getting you much more street cred, or at least Barkley, than you were doing on your own.
Perfect.
Stuffing your girth button oval into this servant suit and rejoining Leon at the edge of the kitchen. Gentlemen, what do? What is your plan now?
Well, we're trying to figure out how to get the bottle of wine so we could taint it or spike it. Wasn't that what we were going to do?
Mm-hmm. That is the goal.
Right.
So what exactly did they, you said there was a guard standing over the bottles? What did they say?
Not so much a guard, more of a maitre d', mind you. I doubt you'd get past him to the wine anytime soon. Not without creating quite the commotion.
What exactly did you say to him?
I just wanted a sample of the special wine brought by the Lothric family.
Did you mention Lady Lothric?
I don't remember.
Yes, you did.
Yes. But of course I did.
You hear Barkley off in the distance having a good time, and people are, clapping, and you miss him already. He doesn't miss you. The Lady Sylvia halfling is quite the different in riding weight. But anyway, yes,
Lady Lothid is seen as an outcast in her family. If we mention at all that we were sent by her, this could cause quite a problem. Oh, though that does lead to an interesting situation. Do you happen to remember the colors of the Lothid family?
I'm thinking back. Winston
that would be knowledge nobility to know the family crest.
mulls it over, seeing if he can remember the color, because I've been involved in many arenas over the years, and I'm sure some Lothids have performed.
Knowledge nobility for Leon is 19.
And I'm just going to go raw intelligence of 4. Because I'm a genius.
Just pick a color, just randomly. Blue. Actually, it's not not knowledge nobility so much as how fast you can type this into Google. Because I'm sure they have it, but it's like, do they actually have
measure of your Google foo here?
Yeah. Anyway, with a 19, Leon, you can describe to him the colors, what the ambient symbol is on the crest, and go from there.
Okay, in that case, I need to find a quiet place to use a powder.
Okay.
I'm going to make myself look like a page, basically, of this family.
Okay. A page. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you're going to look like a basic page, and you're going to have that tabard that goes over the head. Looks like you're wearing like a flag, like a banner that comes straight down and has the big...
I currently have a tabard, so
Yeah.
I just changed the colors, basically, yeah.
Okay. And what about yourself?
Huh? No, I'm using the powder to change my whole...
Yeah, I'm saying, are you a tie-in man wearing the Lothid?
No, I'm going to be I'm going to make myself look as close to a member of that family as I could.
So maybe we should take some time in a corner and watch the people coming in and out and look for somebody wearing those colors so we can copy their appearance.
Yeah, we'll do like a quick kind of scan kind of thing, see if we can find presumably people wearing those colors. Or
Do you remember what it looked like? You described it to me.
I don't necessarily remember the facial features of a person.
So basically,
in that
you guys...
But the tabard, so I can watch for somebody coming in with the tabard and be like, boom, that's my target. I'll be the fat one, you be the skinny one.
I was going to, if I can do it, or I was going to have it so that just myself would shake that color. And then, since you've already let slip Lady Lothid's name, I could then go in under the pretense that we're worried about someone accessing the potion, accessing the bottle without our explicit permission, dragging you in by the ear.
Oh, I see. Make me your scapegoat. I'll be your patsy. Your distraction patsy. You'll be like, yo.
Distraction, indeed. Or at the very least, excuse.
Okay.
Since it's already been attempted once, we need to take better care of it.
Okay. Winston, I will hit you up for another intelligence check.
Sure. 11.
You have vague memory of him talking about like the brothers, like the nobles, the family, the important people giving this bottle and saying specifically, this is when it's served. You show up going, I work for them. And he goes, I'm not having it. A guy dressed in their colors is about to show up. So he'd get a bonus and go, I work for them. You think he's going to have it?
No.
Maybe, but Jay's still going to have to roll.
Maybe we should spy out the brother.
Yeah, see if we can find a member of the actual family.
I'm only bringing this up because you guys talked
go,
about
blink, blink, I'm the brother.
taking the 1d4 hours to search the entire gala for people wearing these colors, because it's like a couple of dudes, so you're looking for a needle in a haystack. With a gather information check, it's like you might as well just go for the,
It's a good idea.
Yeah, let's just do that.
All right. So, gather information, running off of diplomacy, please.
8? There we go.
Natural 20!
All right. So,
Of course, the halfling servantry would talk to me. Hey.
using my official War for the Crown Paizo dice. Favor of Fortuning the Bold. It only takes you 3 hours to to find him. No. 1d4 hours is like skirting a town. Considering your guys are in contained space, I will say that this takes you guys
3 minutes to run up to Lady Lothid, 1 second to ask her where her brother is, and then however long it takes to get there.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to go with 30 minutes to split up and check the crowd. It's like, why don't we just go to Lothie and say, do you know where your brothers are?
That's how we search for. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
right.
good.
Sorry, we got an end, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, hey,
No,
where's the rest
don't.
of your family? Over there. Okay, thanks. Why?
That's where the
No
natural money
worries.
happens.
No worries. I mean, I'm not smart enough to figure that out myself, but
No, well, you just did. Like, that would have been 2 full social rounds of 50 minutes a pop just to find out where your target is. Another, it would take you 3 full social rounds to pull this off. Not that it's not worth it. You guys have social rounds up and coming, but all right. So you guys go back to Lothie and ask where the brothers are, and she seems taken aback, almost like a quick flicker of like, oh, your loyalty's about to change, and then it's kind of like looking at Leon, who she specifically gave the syringe to, and her new sidekick, his new sidekick, you and Barkley with the pouncing and the kids and all that. Remember, I was up here in the gallery? She saw everything. She was around, heard about it, witnessed the disgrace. Barkley shone through.
Hey, it went through all right.
it always does.
I believe you will find them on the Senate floor, bragging, which is actually next to the kitchen, so not too far. You guys come down the gallery, over to the Senate floor, where you find Lord Gildevarth and Sir Bartholomew talking to new targets and people and trying to influence the room. And find guys wearing the colors. Perception, Leon. I'll also take a perception from...
That's my second natural one.
Can't see anybody.
That's my second natural 20.
Something about better, more random rolls on this one, right?
Oh, well, I don't know. Like, you guys were...
I'm seeing this go down here.
there was arguments about we should leave roll 20, Jeff. You should lay out $160 Canadian for the ultimate license. And here's okay. And here we are. 120, 120. Like, you should see the chat box. It literally goes 1 from Leon, 20 from Winston. And then 5 minutes later, 1 from Leon, 20 from Winston. So Matt's digging this. No difference for Jay.
I also hacked the software, so I only rolled 20. No, I'm just
I had like medium before, so
Yeah, I was like, it's not doing so well here. Taking the left side of the room for several moments, Leon, you can't find him. Taking the nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right or proper side of the room, Winston finally spots our man or group, or, a description that Leon gave you, the colors, the tabard. What are you doing, Winston?
So I'll mental note their location, go find Leon, bring him by, and do the whole...
There they are right there. Which one are you going to be?
I need to know their names at least first.
That's good. I just pictured you guys going back to the kitchens, and you guys look like the two uncles, look like the two brothers, and don't have a name, and your best guess is, I'm Umlo. Anyway, okay, so are you guys going to approach them?
I mean, does my knowledge nobility from before help, or is that just about the family in general, I suppose?
You were specifically wanting to know the tabard. Give me another roll to if you can remember their names. Or Winston, you're going to jog those stairs again. Go back to Lothie. What are your brothers' names?
14.
She told us her brother's name.
She just said, my brother's this and my brother's that. And where are my brothers? They're in the Senate.
Did she specifically warn us about one of them, or it was just her brothers in general?
It's just saying my brothers. The Lothie family's a big family. Like, it's just like these, could be like 2 of the 6 brothers kind of thing. All right. You remember the names. Sorry, Leon. You remember the names.
Okay, so that as long as I remember at least one name, I'm good.
Okay.
Then, yeah, my next.
Are you both posing as brothers?
No, not that I'm aware of. My plan was to use it on me and then drag him out as evidence of someone trying to tamper with the potion, and thus ours.
Because Winston's plan is like, which one do you want to be? As in, hence, he'll be the other one. So you guys might want to get on the same page here. I mean, feel free to go in there and screw that up.
No, I just asked him which one he wants to be, because it's not going to be me. I'm too fat and short.
Yeah, the thing doesn't change your size.
It's an illusion. It can make you look like anything.
Yeah, but the illusion, like the thing, it's basic, so it doesn't change the size of your actual body. So if you change, you would change into like a small boy kind of thing.
Version of that, which would be hilarious in its own right.
Does it not work off of disguise self, which is just a hologram? Somebody punched you in the brother's face, and of course Winston is 3 feet tall, he'd miss, but hence interacting with the illusion going, hey, this isn't right. But I thought it was a disguise self kind of spell thing. Is it not?
I'm pretty sure it is, but it's like a glamour.
Okay, what's the name of it?
It's dust of appearance.
Dust of illusion.
The
Dust of Illusion. All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a glamour thing. So my understanding would be like it takes the things that are already there and then just kind of like covers it.
Wait for it to load. Okay. Unremarkable powder resembles chalk dust or powdered graphite when stared at, however, changes colors and form. A creature covered in dust of illusion is affected as if by a disguised self-glamour, with the individual who springs to dust envisioning the illusion desired.
Yeah. So you get a +10 to your disguise check.
Okay.
So you can now, if you change your race, there's a penalty. So if you want to look like a human tall guy, there will be that, right? But basically what it does is the illusion aids your disguised self. So you guys are going to try and disguise yourselves as these people. Walk the walk, talk the talk. So I'll need disguise rolls. The spell, the illusion, gives you a +10 because it's a huge bonus. Here's a hologram. And then we take away the factors. Did you change your race? Did you change your sex? Did you change your undies? Blah, 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 blah. Will all be bonuses and penalties, right? Then there's the bluffing. Will I try to do the voice? Yada, yada. And you know what I mean? They've just turned everything into factors with the spell. Instead of just going free illusion, they just go, well, here's an amazing effect +10, but you still have to go off a roll in case you don't walk like he does or talk like he does or, enjoy long walks on the beach like he does, whatever.
Well, I don't have the dust anyway, so.
I thought you guys had several doses.
We have two.
Yeah.
2.
He's got
And
it all.
Fafal, did you give up 1 or 2 to him? I think you only gave up the 1.
I thought I gave 2, but I'm not sure.
Well, it's up to
I'm
you
pretty
guys.
sure I asked for both of them, but
It's up to you guys. If you didn't in a previous episode, apologies to the audience. And Winston, time to get your jog on. I mean, you haven't done so much foot running without Barkley, and those stairs. We've been to Lothie twice now. If you want to run down Fafal, just to make sure that you've got that, I guess-
No, we only need 1. I like his plan.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. We fast forward the scene, because we're taking too long, to the kitchens. And there, our brother Lothide, we'll call him. Not that he visits the church so much. Brother Lothide is walking the walk and talking the talk. Can I have a disguise check, please, Leon?
okay. Could I have Matt help me with like rearranging my disguise after I make the basic of it?
Sure.
You want some aiding?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Aid another. So if you do a DC 10, he'll get another +2.
So disguise.
Yeah.
Come on, natural 20 again. Do it. No, 4.
No. Okay. So
Sorry.
he's contradicting. He's talking about no, really, they wear their underwear on the outside. It's a fashionable. Remember what he thinks a fashionable noble looks like, right? Makes you pull up your Elvis collar and do a whole bunch of things for flair that you don't remember the guy 5 minutes ago actually like the way he actually presented the clothes. Anyway, so no bonus, but with your disguise of +1, getting what?
15.
Right. Now you use a dust appearance that gives you 25 because the +10. Are you changing your race? No. Are you changing your sex? No. Are you changing your age? Not so much. Not really. You know what I mean? I think these guys are still within that sort of adult. It's not like you're becoming a middle-aged man or an old man. So I think you're pretty good on par at 25.
Okay.
So Buddy has to make a perception check after he starts interacting with you and see if, you know what I mean? So let's have it. You guys are at the kitchens. You act entitled. You can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winston takes you to the guy. Oh,
Shows him do it, and then
it's
puts
you again.
his hand on my ear.
Gentle now.
Yep. Leading him by the ear.
All right. Oh, it's you again. Ah, yes, my lord. Can I help you?
I've received information that this one was attempting to tamper with the bottle.
Poof, tamper! My lady has as much right to that wine as any of you.
My lady.
Are you ill, my lord? Your accent has completely changed this afternoon since you brought me the bottle. Cough, cough, bluff check, instant switch. No one said, hey, using your voice, man. There was no indication of like. So I see Brother Lothide, and out comes Leon's voice, acting stern, but you look the part. You gotta play the part, buddy.
Bluff of 3.
Okay. So he coughs and just continues on in his, monotone, serious Lothide voice,
Fine,
which is his own voice. But seriously.
Why does it matter what my voice sounds like to you? Who's to say I haven't been drinking a bottle or anything?
Intimidate?
Jesus, man.
You do like this program, right?
Are you using macros for this stuff?
Call it out. What'd you get?
Okay.
3.
Oh, another 3. So he's rolled 2 1s and now 2 2s. So you are getting better. It is getting better for you.
No,
So-
he rolled a 14. He rolled a 13.
Oh, for your skills, but now that we're in the crunch here. So you try to bluff his voice with a nudge from me, suddenly reminding, because he reacts to you and fail. And now you're trying to intimidate him. What do you mean? And he's like, he just blinks at you and then just sort of, cranes his neck and starts studying you. I don't believe this might be the person that I believe. And I'll give this guy a +4, bringing his 13 up to 17, but he still can't sort of disbelieve his own eyes. So you're on par, but the more you talk, the worse it's going to get. Winston, what are you doing?
Looking disgruntled.
Okay.
And as he starts flustering with the whole voice thing, maybe I'll start to fight a bit, put up a bit of a fake fight.
Okay.
To try and help him disguise the fact, or to maybe help hurry along the situation.
To distract him? What situation? You guys are trying to get your hands on a bottle.
Yes.
So how did you having a tantrum? Sure, it'll distract me, but how does that fix your X game?
Well, because it'll give maybe Jay the opportunity to be like, anyways, I'm not going to deal with this guy here. Just give me the bottle and I'll take care of it myself, since you obviously can't be trusted.
Okay, so pitch your fit. Give me a bluff. Or acting if you have it.
18.
Okay, so let's hear it. You yank your head away from the man's grasp, and...
As I said, my lord, Milady has as much right to the wine as you do. Now enough of this nonsense. She's part of the Lothide family.
With a bluff of 18, the guy's kind of like, I hadn't really thought of that. What do you do, brother Lothide?
As you can see, that clearly is in danger to leave it here, since they now know where it is, apparently. If it would be all right with you, it would be much safer if I could take the bottle and keep it with my brothers and I until necessary.
Okay. Can I have a bluff from you?
I wasn't really bluffing. It was pretty obvious there.
Okay, well, how about, diplomacy, sure.
22.
Okay, you have solid reasoning in your diplomacy. But the problem is the wrong voice is coming out of the guy. Even if I penalize you, I'm disbelieving, which usually in the world of illusions only gives a 4 either way. Even if I penalize that by 4, that still brings you down to a solid 18. So he's confused and he's really eyeballing you, but he can't really refute the logic. And Winston's role here is certainly boisted you in the 0 hour. So he's like, he senses motive. And with my 8 plus is like, yeah, okay. So he goes over and he picks out a bottle and hands it to you. But even in the exchange, you have to do that double tug as he doesn't let go, because he's at this point, not that he's trying to hold it because he doesn't believe you. He's so distracted and trying to rack his brain for that grain of, my gut is telling me something's wrong, but my brain's going, no, he's can't refute this. You know what I mean? You got that hesitation, but he finally surrenders the bottle to you. What do you do?
I thank you and turn around and leave.
Okay.
I can't see them being particularly chatty at this point in time.
Right. Okay. Now you, turning to Winston. Guard! He calls for guards. There are guards everywhere, and not so much the kitchen is guarded, but there might be guards on break having a snack. So, over comes a couple of guards.
Preposterous. You'd penalize a manservant for doing manservantly duties?
Okay.
Hey, what did I do that was wrong? I came to the kitchen, requested a bottle of wine.
Yep.
That's what I did.
Yep.
Call the guard.
Yep. Guards come over. He comes over, he towels over you, and he says, just so there is no more of this hijinks and tomfoolery. He reaches forward, and he snatches your waistband and declares, you, sir, are a disgrace to the apron. And all of our servants, guards, escort him out. And 2 dudes grab you and just start heading for the exit.
Okay. I'll go with the flow.
Okay. So they toss you outside. And don't come back! Toss. You find yourself outside the Senate building.
So I pick myself up.
Okay.
Dust myself off. Perk up my ear for the sound of barking in the distance.
Where they actually take... There is an exit near the kitchen. Or I should say, not near the kitchen. It's not like we're going to toss you out a window. Taking you guys towards the Senate floor and then back towards the gardens next to those secret meeting rooms.
Okay.
There's an exit there, and they just, toss you out. Now, there's guards outside to keep people from, sneaking in kind of thing, and there's that, especially around here, because there's that rail. This garden is sort of open access. There's not much but, a high sculpted marble rail, elevated, like a low wall. So there's guards on the outside anyway. So
Sure.
there are guards in the garden that see you
so
get
they
tossed.
actually just toss me out of the building? They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Get out.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And other
So I'll
other guards witnessed
Pick
this.
myself up, sweep myself off, look at one of the guards standing by the door.
I guess that's the last time I try to sneak a pie.
Good dude just looks at you flatly. Anyway, the two that toss you and know why you left go back inside. The guards are out here, just, they're just looking at you. What do you want to do?
Go back in.
Okay. Well, one of the guards by the door just kind of like steps over and stops you. He goes, hey.
Just got thrown out, man.
Oh, pardon me, sir, but I think you may have dropped this.
And I'll reach into my coin purse and pull out a gold coin and slip it into his hand.
I'm just going to go catch back up with those nice two gentlemen who seem to have put me in the wrong direction.
He looks at the coin and he looks at you, and the other hand clamps on your shoulder. He's like,
Are you trying to bribe a guard of the Senate with a single gold piece?
No, sir, not trying. Succeeding.
Diplomacy of 23.
you go about the bribe the right way, but he doesn't seem convinced that one gold piece is going to do it.
Just give me a second here. Oh, okay. Make that 20 gold pieces. Let's not F around.
20 gold.
Yep.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Because of that awesome diplomacy, there is a set bribe that they are willing to accept. I mean, this is Taldor after all. It's a little higher than 20 gold. But
Really?
with your, they want 25. A 25 gold piece minimum to bribe a guard to look the other way and come back in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The proverbial, here's $250. If I happen to, you start off with like a $10 bill. And he's like, what?
He's like,
But he didn't say that wasn't enough. He was just like, how dare you? $10? What do you think I'm doing? One gold piece? And you're like, yes. Taldorian guards have accepted bribes since the beginning with your diplomacy. It's going on and on and on. It's like, yeah, but up to 20. Do you have 20 gold pieces on you?
yep.
All right. With your over 20, which is a decent staple DC for any skill check, a 23 diplomacy. He looks at the gold. He looks at you. Thinks about what you said. The old eyebrows going up and down from you, wiggling that shoulder under his arm. And he pockets it and gives you a shove and just literally sort of like looks away.
Right.
You slip
Back
back
in the
inside.
building.
Yep, back in the building. He's back inside, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile,
Find my way to Barkley and the servants who are impersonating and
get your stuff back.
impersonate.
Mission accomplished. I believe the lady had need of me this evening.
Okay. Barkley and the woman are surrounded by nobles that are laughing. And you ever seen that scene in Firefly where the down-to-earth, silly little homegirl, cute mechanic, the captain buys her a very frilly dress, and she goes to the very fancy party, but she's like, backwater South girl. And all the ne'er-do-well, rich, snotty women come and they all snoot her. And then for some reason, just offhandedly, she overhears a conversation about an engine. And next thing you know, when the captain catches up with her, she's surrounded by all the important bachelors, men, and lords, and they're all talking about ships and engines, and she really knows her stuff, and they're all having a good time. That's what's going down on your wolf over there, and you can't get near it.
It's fine.
Mike, who's wearing your clothes, sees you and comes over and says,
Hey!
I see you're enjoying yourself.
Well, somebody is.
I thank you for the lending of the attire, good sir, but I believe it's time we switch back.
Oh, yeah, no problem. This, you got kind of...
lost in this. He's kind of like flapping, it's so baggy, whatever.
Yeah, just step into my office here.
Anyway, so he walks you to like some quiet corner servant's nook that he knows, and he quickly, we're swapping shirts and stuff. Now, we never like drop trowel, the basic pant or whatever. You still have your purple pants, but you covered it with the apron, which is now gone. Anyway, so you swap back the best you can. And before he asks you what happened to my apron, he's like,
But good luck getting that cloak and, your mount back there. It's really taking a shine to her in the rest of the room. I'd play that up for as much as it's worth.
and then he says something strange. He kind of leans in almost a very serious, I wouldn't say dangerous, but serious manner, says,
For as long as you can.
a little wicked grin. And then he gives you a wink and just walks off.
Interesting. I wonder what he knows.
Winston.
Anyways,
Leon, bottle in hand. Turn, try to intercede, think best of it. Winston's giving you the quick, wave away. No, I got this kind of thing. Where do you go with the bottle?
I would go to someplace fairly quiet. So maybe I would go to that area that would be generally done for shady deals, but at the same time, I know that the Lothid family is in the main area there, so actually going to them might be a problem.
Oh, you don't want to get spotted as you passing by you.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, there's a circular wall containing the other you, so unless he steps out, you get a straight beeline. It's a little risky. Let's consult our percentage dice, because I haven't got to roll these beauties yet for War for the Crown percentage dice. I will say a bathroom break, a whatever, 15% chance tops, maybe 20, that somebody, like, comes out or pokes, or somebody that sees you and kind of, like, intercedes you. It's forcing you to be him. Or the real him. 67, you're good. Skirt by 2 entrances, one, then the second, and get in there and, look around. And there are 2 stalls on your right, a main open area, some curtained off areas, and 3 stalls on the left. And, like, 1 or 2 are, they're curtained off like a dressing room. And then you just see, like, double sets of boots facing each other. And those murmurs are, what would possibly give up that much land for, come on, man, the mountains, something's going on. Right, move down a couple booths, and like in another, there's a frilled dress and a tee-hee, and
oh my lord, you're so forward, it's up a thing, But unfortunately,
and you hear the boots suddenly tip up, and you just see like pants and buttocks slide down into view. Quickly moving along again. Find yourself a nice little private, before the assassin leaves and spots you. All kinds of things. Hey, it's shady deals, man. Oh, look, a romance. Nope, that's not a romance. Move down, private stall, pull the curtain. And you're alone with your syringe and your bottle.
Okay.
Get that good vein going. Okay. So, so like she said, it's a cork. The syringe is decided to, like, discreetly penetrate said cork, inject, putrefy the expensive wine. And you're looking at this vintage, and a memory comes to mind. When you were young, strapping age of, how old are you now?
25.
Yeah, strapping age of 15, and you and a young Ulfin boy, who, when you first met, had an unusual circumstantial meeting where you confronted him, impressed somebody of his family, and he finally took you down in a blurry. Years passed, and this rival kind of turned into, I wouldn't say a friend, but one of the only people that just talks to you and acknowledges you. And, a memory comes to mind where this young Ulfin skald is smuggling a ale horn out of the back of the kitchens. He's close to your age, and, young guys your age, get into drinking with the family, whatever. But this stuff is special. It's for, very special ceremonies or whatever, and he's got his hands on something he shouldn't have. And for whatever reason, you're out the back, you're having a cigarette, you're doing whatever coming along, you kind of like run face to face in him, and he looks up surprised, holding the horn. But then he sees it's you and just kind of makes a face and says,
Leon, what are you doing here?
Passing the horn to his other hand and just kind of shoving it under his fur cloak behind his back.
Just getting some air.
Very well then. Carry on.
Nonchalantly starts like striding off, the big elbow sticking out, like thinks he's got you beat, and goes right past you.
I go to grab his shoulder.
Okay, grabbing the free arm, stopping him.
Do be careful.
The scald eyes flash from anger and outrage to being touched by you to like in the realization that he's just been caught and you're not going to let it go, to something crafty, to a smile that usually means trouble. He slowly brings the horn out for you to see and holding it up.
Care to share?
Your options now, in that moment, report him. Go have a drink with him where you could possibly get caught and, in trouble later. But an interesting thing happens in this moment. For a young man that spent the last couple of years, shunning you and wondering why your family's been, brought in, and knowing your mother was held hostage by these Ulfin tribes or whatever, the opportunity to get what he wants, he got it. He got caught, and now the opportunity, instead of having to give it up or getting blamed alone, to drag you down with him, or at least, but he still gets what he wants.
I suppose in not saying anything, I would be complicit. Certainly.
Flashing back now to the present, holding the bottle in hand, you had to go through Dust of Illusion and pair yourself with that ridiculous halfling, but together, after he failed alone, the two of you got what you wanted.
shaking off the memory. Oh, and I stab the bottle with the syringe and get back to business.
Stab, pour, press the button on the end, putrefy the wine. Done. Now you have to get it back. And you stated to the guy guarding the wine that you are going to keep it for the rest of the night until it's time to serve it. He was right on the edge of not believing you are who you are. It does occur to you in this moment that suddenly changing your mind and putting it back in the wrong voice, even though you still look like, you know what I mean? It's just you're really, it can happen, we'll roll, but you're really pushing your luck.
I also already know that you can, or that some families have been told to give the bottles to members of the servant class and state what the bottle is for. They will bring it back and give it to who it's for. If he didn't believe me, which it seemed very close that he didn't, he might just think I got caught.
I don't follow. So you're saying you can just pawn it off on a servant going by and saying, get this back to Bob, and, you know, no one will think anything of it? No,
not necessarily no one will think anything of it. More along the lines of, I would give it to one of the servants to bring it back in there as far like for my family, but say that it was we confiscated it off of someone who was attempting to steal it, as in play off of the maitre d's expectations.
I see. Yeah. So here's the maitre. Okay, so here's the maitre d going, wow, I dodged a bullet there, because if it had gotten stolen, or, you know what I mean, I'll just keep my mouth shut. Okay. Assuming that he'll keep his mouth shut out of embarrassment that he, you know, I see. I got you now. Okay. So you find a servant. Why, here comes a halfling buttoning up his coat. You recognize him. It's Mike heading back to his thing.
Another servant.
Sorry?
I pick another servant.
Don't trust that guy. He was too helpful last time. Okay. So you go.
I think it's probably a better idea to just not talk with people that I've had a connection to at all.
All right. So how are we going to go about this? Bluff? I am who I am. Intimidate? You do this now. Diplomacy? You're the servant. You really should get this bottle back to where it belongs. How are we going about this?
I think the average servant I could just kind of like just be straight up diplomacy for.
Sure.
Okay. So just walking up to the average servant, as I said, this bottle was confiscated from someone claiming to be a member of the Lothid family. They were not. Can you bring it back?
I have a name, you know. You shouldn't belittle me just assuming that I'm like an average guy doing an average job and hating it.
Compared to me, are you really a person?
Fair point. Holds out his hand. Takes the bottle. Instruct him what to do with it. And he turns around and shuffles off. All right. So you can assume from everything the two of you have seen, you can assume mission accomplished. Where do you want to go now?
Remove the powder that's on me and get out of my disguise here.
Okay, like out here in the open?
Well, no. Go back somewhere quiet and then...
Great lord, great trick, my lord! That was amazing!
Yeah, right.
Now do maxillar pytharias, you know. Poof.
Oh, fine, take that.
Draws a small crowd, you know. You should have pulled this stuff upstairs with the kids. You would have been ace. Winston would have been ace with her. All right. Not knowing where your companions are, they said keep an eye on Trant. And Fafal, I believe, phoned in going, I'm actually watching her right now. You did spot Lord Varth and Sir Bartholomew on the Senate floor. You want to rejoin them or just try to figure out where Winston went off to? Last time you saw him, he was getting accosted in the kitchens.
I think it could be worth going to see if I can find... as far as I'm aware, Winston, if he's around, that would be good to find him, but otherwise join like with my group.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for Winston.
You did notice you run into Mike, and he wasn't wearing Winston's coat anymore, but he might have just ditched it. Anyway, okay, so you rejoin the Senate. And Winston is eyeballing his wolf and young Sylvia, the halfling, trying to figure out how to detach her from the crowd without losing a whole bunch of face, because you do realize, like, she is trying to... Well, she's automatically just having a good time influencing whatever room she's in. For you to go and disturb that, Winston, you actually might like get negative effect of the room. But I'd like to go to Fafal.
But of course.
Watching Trant. As she makes her way through the different areas, she's picking up people, like hanger-ons. Mostly what you would consider a sycophant. People that just... The social scene is everything. And they are so up on pushing and elevating their own status and those they're with, mostly by putting others around them down. Because it's easier to nitpick the guy next to you and make them look bad, as opposed to doing something amazing every party to make yourself look good. They travel in packs. They work in groups. They're off of each other, and they usually glom onto a charismatic person. And as she's moving from room to room, and you try to keep your distance, can I have some bluff or stealth from you to make sure that she doesn't feel, she's being tailed?
Did you just ask for a stealth roll?
Yeah.
From a rogue?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Now that's interesting.
Okay,
You state you're a rogue here, and yet in Mummy's Mask we haven't really touched on your class yet, but we know you're something else.
True.
But I suppose a lot's going to happen to you in the next couple of years, from the young you in Mummy's Mask, how you got out of Assyrian, ended up in Kadira for Lord Varth to find, and now end up here. I wouldn't say you're completely different, older, wiser, more jaded, and sporting a different character class back down at a low level. But I suppose that's a story for another time. Right now, what did you get?
I rolled the 2 on the dice for 14.
CJ, people can make 2 happen in Fantasy Grounds. I'm standing by the money I spent on this.
On Cavaliers?
Non-Cavaliers? Oh, well, it is Dice Before Dishonor. He's only doing a cameo. You can't rely on this guy forever. And let that be stated for those that think we're cheating, okay? Mr. Willems here is doing an extended cameo of a character that's appeared now in several podcasts, and he's joined himself through Varsh to the party. But technically, you never know when that cameo is going to run out, boys and girls. We'll just have to see. Was that Matt?
I was just going to say you can't really count on Fafal for anything.
Yeah.
So you can count on him to be Fafal.
Yep.
That's about all you can do.
Shady as Fafal is, I believe, the term that that Ashley has pegged him with, and just is kind of making its way around the community. So, give me a couple of the stealth and the bluff, just in case you get close to her, or Now, from the gallery, you can watch her, but it does get to a point where she starts moving into rooms or getting into groups where you have to sort of get down and get close.
Yeah.
Because now Lothid's saying, keep tabs on her, keep an eye on her. You want to overhear conversations. You want to see, see what the woman's up to. So what do we got going here?
All right, so next one was a 27 on stealth, and then a 19 on stealth, then a 22 on bluff, and a 13 on bluff.
Okay. If she happens to look your way, or the sycophants notice what you're up about, now you stand out. I mean, it's not like you can't be noticed at a party. It's also kind of your MO. But there's also a way of playing that off that you're just happen to be in the same room. Maybe even competing for the room's attention. But as far as you can tell, they don't send anybody at you. They don't, they won't seem to want to engage what you're doing with the people that you're engaged with. They have their own people that they're talking to, their own way of going about the room. And then one of the sycophants leaves for a little while and then comes back and comes right up to him, whispers in her ear. And she gets this wicked looking sort of, I wouldn't say it's like, haha, I have a plan, but it's just kind of like, I've been waiting for this moment. And then she just turns and follows this guy, and they head out and off and up to the archives and back, and the other 2 sycophants kind of like finishing their drink, putting down their cheese, finishing a conversation nearby or whatever. As she goes to leave, they kind of fall in line and they glance around. And this is seriously at the end, that bluff, that 22, the 19 stealth, the 22 come into play if they kind of look at you. One with the bluff 13 looks at you and kind of notes you, but they still, go after Madame Trant.
Okay.
And they leave the room, and they're like literally heading off somewhere to do something. It becomes very obvious.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'll give it 15, 20 seconds, and then I will, finish up the conversation, escort myself out of it, and then start to follow them. And as soon as I'm out of direct sightline of everybody, hard stealth.
Getting close to a hallway in the top of the Senate and getting into a part beyond the archives. Now, in the adventure, they just say pick a room because they haven't mapped it. And purchasing the Crownfall adventure for FFG, when I load up certain encounters, which I like, it's one of the reasons why we switched over, they've dropped her and her sycophants in a particular room, which will serve nicely for this encounter. So drawing your attention to the top left of the map, you can see in the archive area beyond and around a corner, there's a basically 30 by 30 room. It is lined with chairs. There is a single window. And a conversation is already ensuing, though you're literally very not long, to engage it, because, like I said, you barely had a 20-second, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, they've moved off kind of hurriedly, like they're trying to catch up to someone. You're stealthily kind of going 15-foot moves, type of thing. So let us say that the conversation is 30 seconds to a minute, maybe 2 minutes tops. Peeking inside the room, hard stealth, along this, stacking up SWAT style along a wall. You lean in, and you see there's a senator cornered in the back of the room. Do you have knowledge local, knowledge ability?
I believe I have some knowledges. Yes, I have both. So I guess knowledge and ability first. What is that? That is a 23.
Senator Dow, one of the junior senators, but still someone that can, have added to the pile of votes one way or the other, can have an effect. She's bullying him, standing 5-10 feet away, going on about her father, and heavily dropping the hint about how Dad would really appreciate his support, and there's definitely an or else going on. She's being charming, but the woman is tall and has a solid muscular frame. She looks beautiful in her dress and her hair up and everything, but she's a large woman, over 6 feet tall, and 3 sycophants that have sort of spread out behind her in a wedge pattern, blocking off any escape for this poor guy. He's darting eyes around the room, looking a little uncertain at her intent, and she's just casually going on about some particular subject that her father wants to endorse, and that his support is going to be greatly appreciated. And, but there's that definitely or else tone.
Okay.
The guy's initial reaction says it all. You can tell that he's not even really interested in listening, but the man is trapped. This is the woman that Lothi told you to keep an eye on, that she might pull shit like this. What do you do?
So I'm going to step back out of the hallway, just hopefully out of earshot of them hearing me. Bring up the guys and even Lothi on the wireless communicators and inform them that Lady Trant is hostilely engaging one of the junior senators, Senator Tao.
You rally the troops.
And I grab a full glass of wine. Actually, partially full glass of wine.
Oh, I'm assuming you had one in hand to blend, from the party trailing, because anyone
Well,
finds you,
yes,
you look like
I
the
will
party
make
goer,
sure I
right?
have-
This is for fall. I mean, not telling you how to play your guy, but, the audience already suspects a certain...
fair enough.
If anyone's got the white smoking casino bond jacket on, the equivalent, I'm assuming it's you right now at this
You
thing.
are wrong.
Yeah, okay. Gentlemen, the word goes out. Winston taking a couple steps towards said wolf, still wondering how to get in there or whatever. Leon rejoining Samish and Varth, having a quick exchange, and then all of a sudden your pins go off, and you guys can hear this message, and Fafal's like, hey, it's going down with Trant. And we'll see you next time on Dice Before Dishonor. Gentlemen, the promise of, I wouldn't say combat, I mean, as rude as a party, but these situations have been known to get out of hand. We'll have to see. They're isolated. There's 4 of them. Will the cavalry quite literally come to the rescue? Well, the only one that has a mount has been dismounted. We'll have to see. Say goodnight, Brother Lothid.
Good night.
Nope, still not convinced. That's a convincing voice. I'm sorry, I have to delay you an extra round.